everybody. This is your boy D from DNC Digital, back with another episode of DNC Radio. It's going to be a special one today. We're on the cusp of WrestleMania 36. For all you wrestling fans, you can know what this is about. For all that don't, WrestleMania is a huge, huge event in the professional wrestling world by WWE, and they usually play it in front of 80, 90,000 people in a huge stadium. Now with the coronavirus, they're playing in an empty arena, and much less an arena. It's their own performance center where they train their future stars. And we're just going to see and talk about the dynamic and see if they can pull it off. And I got a good buddy. He's going to be my guest today. And he's going to be the yin to my yang, and that's what we usually been doing throughout our whole relationship. So let me welcome Brian Davis. What's going on, Byron?
Hey, buddy. How's it going, D?
How's everything with you, man? I know this stuff is affecting everybody, and I know you have a little girl. And so, what are you doing throughout all this? How's it going?
Just living the dream in the quarantine, buddy. Just trying to stay away from as much human contact as possible, and hopefully we can, get through this, and the economy won't be as bad as it's looking to be. So, yeah, man, just staying indoors, man.
There's something I put on Facebook yesterday, and a lot of people probably weren't sure how to answer it. But do you think that we're all just going to become germaphobes after this? Do you think, like, if you cough somewhere, people are just going to look at you wrong from now on?
Nah, I mean, if everybody was staying indoors, I would say that's a possibility. But for the fact that, the Costco lines are still around the corner and there's still people out on the street, especially in New Jersey, being that we are one of the states that have a lot of cases, like some of the highest in the country. These people are just acting like it's a normal day. So I honestly don't think people are going to be germaphobes after this. They're just going to act like, business as usual. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't see that.
Let's just hope for the best. Everybody, just make sure you wash your hands, you wash your ass, stay at home.
Wash your stinking asses.
Yo, seriously, get a bidet. Let's get some bidets set up in houses. What people don't understand, and they need to understand, if you were to get tested today and you're negative, that does not mean that you won't be positive tomorrow. You can still contract. It's just telling you you're negative right now. So just do your part, wash your hands, keep the kids safe, keep your family safe. That being said, this coronavirus has affected everything, including the sports world. WrestleMania is going to be the topic of today. Now, you are a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. I did not have cable, so I was stuck watching WWF Superstars. Who were your guys growing up, though?
Oh, my guys growing up. It's a great question. I think my earliest memory of wrestling, oddly enough, it wasn't Hulk Hogan, which would be, a lot of people my age would say, that would be their first memory. My first memory is watching Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And I just remember him as a figure. I don't remember any specific match, but for some reason watching him wrestle just, sparked a really huge interest in me. And ever since that day, dude, I just been, riding the wave. I mean, obviously it was Hulk Hogan, and then, my favorite all-time wrestler is Ultimate Warrior. But it was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, dude. He was the one that did it for me, bro.
And interestingly enough, during that time, it wasn't people Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's size that was running the show or being the selling point.
Yeah, I think that appealed to me.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was named, or he's named pretty much. Everybody says he's the best babyface in all of wrestling. I don't remember much of his promos though. So like my brother sent me a Sting.
Intense, dude. They were intense.
Were they? I mean, were they really? Because I remember my brother sent me a Sting promo, and Sting's promos were cookie cutter, and they were rah rah, let's go team. But he had some good promos too, as far as being a babyface.
But I think at that time you had the Hulk Hogan's, you had the Ultimate Warriors, you had the Macho Mans, and you had the people that were just high octane, high intensity. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was a little bit more calmer, but just you can look in his eyes, dude. Like the intensity in his eyes just spoke volumes to me. It's almost like another guy that appealed to me because of just his his capability of just looking into the camera, and you could tell he's taking you there. Was Jake the Snake, man. That dude, Jake the Snake, man. Like his promos, like there's not one promo that stands out, but if I'm thinking of him in his promos, just that stare, that glare, just and for some reason that appealed to me more than anything back then.
And a glorious mustache.
That mustache
is legendary. Yeah, you took the word out of my mouth. I remember one promo though, and I want to bring it up. There was one where the announcer does his whole thing, and then he puts the mic to Jake the Snake Roberts' hand, and he just starts moving his mouth. Now, as a viewer, you're just like, oh, let me turn up the volume, or something's wrong with my TV. And he just says, there's nothing wrong with your TV. I was like, oh my, and he goes on to say, I was just messing with you. Now, if I can do this through a TV set, imagine what I'll do when I come to your town so-and-so day. And I was like, oh my God. And the guy still has it, because when he got on AEW a few weeks ago, he my girlfriend looked at it and she's like, the best thing about that promo wasn't even talking, because at the end he tells Cody Rhodes, he's like, they told me never to turn your back on a man you respect or a man you fear. And then he just walks away. And I was like, oh, Jesus, this guy is amazing.
Got it, man.
So now the dynamic of watching wrestling is a little strange, because the first few shows I felt were pretty cool. And so let's talk about it. WWE has moved on to doing empty arena shows, and then they got, I guess with the cost of traveling and everything, they kept everything now in Orlando, Florida, where their performance center is. Have you watched any of the shows since then?
Unfortunately, I have not. With me and a lot of my wrestling buddies, I just let them know with the direction, with WrestleMania side, with the direction they're going in. Especially with AEW, and I don't care what anybody says, man. I feel like they have a way better product at the moment.
Okay.
With them on their heels, I just don't like some of the directions that they're going in, and just has me scratching my head. So no, I haven't watched any of the empty arena, performances, but I heard they were decent. I just really haven't heard anybody say that they were outstanding or I'm missing out or anything, but yeah, no, that's where I'm at with that.
That being said, though,
what's your take on them though?
Oh well, the first few were cool. I mean, I remember the first SmackDown. I think there was that one. I think it was cool. I was like, this is a weird thing, but they're trying their best.
Yeah, of course.
It's one thing I wanted to talk about. Is just I watch wrestling for wrestling, but it's making me feel like I need that crowd.
Yeah,
and the crowd is a supporting character in this show that they're doing, but it's a huge supporting character, because I feel like do you remember when AJ Styles and John Cena first went face to face? It was a promo.
Yes.
And the camera had to span out, because they're like, you got to get this. You got to get this crowd. Yeah, because it's a crazy visual. I remember Daniel Bryan betraying Bray Wyatt, and the crowd was insane. And a lot of these moments are only memories because of the crowd.
Because of the crowd, that pop, dude.
Yeah, that pop.
Are you talking about that steel cage match? That steel cage match?
Yep, the steel cage match.
Dude, that pop was phenomenal. It made it. Not only was the moment, awesome, but yeah, that pop was insane, dude.
So a lot. You know what? One thing I miss, and it's a little sidebar, but one thing I miss is the presence of cameras, because now everybody's using their phones. Everybody uses their phone to video record or take pictures. But do you remember, I think it was Hogan and Andre, Rock and Hogan, Triple H when he used to do his turnbuckle pose, but those flashes from those old school cameras, I feel like added to the moment.
Absolutely.
Some of those moments damn near looked like they just turned the lights on, because all those flashes are going off, and I think it brought home more of that. Like, this is a moment you're gonna remember. So the first few shows were cool. and I see the frustration. I see the difficulty in doing the show. And I remember watching, it was like an ESPN documentary,
Mm-hmm.
and you forget to realize that they say they're putting on two shows. They're putting on a live event, and they're putting on the television show. So there are two audiences. There's the one sitting there in the crowd, and then there's us in hard cam, and the backstage interviews and stuff like that. But I can see the difficulty. And I know you call me a WWE guy, but I just feel like this is corporate D. I just feel like this is an unprecedented thing where they got knocked back into a corner. I think AEW is doing better, as far as making the best of it and translating this crap into this good product that they're putting across. But that goes along with a lot of the freedom that they're giving the guys and the quality of wrestling that they're allowing the guys to do.
That's the bigger picture right there, man. That's where the issue is, but that's for a different podcast.
How do you feel about? No, we can talk about that. How do you feel about WWE, the wrestling company, or WWE, the entertainment company?
I think it's a little mixture of both, which is a little frustrating for me. I just think that, it all starts and stops with Vince. I just think that he's just making, bad calls. I just think that the direction he's taking the company, whether it be for the entertainment value or, any value for that matter, is just in a direction where it's going to lose a lot of fans. Like, I just think, there's just a lot of things like that they're giving us that the fans aren't asking for. Goldberg and, I don't even know what to even make of that, to be honest with you, especially after, Bray coming back and getting the pop that I think that he deserved.
That SummerSlam entrance was something I downloaded it into my phone because I still like that SummerSlam entrance with the shots of the camera like going by him and some of that shit was just crazy.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I'm not even a Wyatt guy. Some of my friends will tell you. I mean, I'm not even a Wyatt guy, but I just think it was it was his time to hold the title for a while, and then Goldberg comes and does Goldberg shit after almost killing Undertaker with a fucking jackknife that kind of mirrored. No, but just think about it.
God, that was a terrible.
It was a jackhammer that mirrored a brainbuster, and he almost killed the guy. So that's the last time we saw him, or one of the last times we saw him. But for some reason, Vince thought that was a good idea to have this guy main event or co-main event WrestleMania. Explain that to me.
Such good shit. Such good shit.
Don't eat it up.
Don't eat it up.
Don't eat it up. No, we're not gonna fucking eat it up. You had everybody scratching their fucking head, wondering why you just did that on TV to Bray Wyatt, and for the life of me, I can't. I don't understand it.
On one side of the coin, I don't feel like Bray Wyatt, his character, needs the title. I think he's just I feel when they set up the whole Hell in a Cell title match, I'm like, don't do it, because I felt like Bray Wyatt's character after SummerSlam should have just chilled, like not shown up, and maybe go back to Firefly Funhouse shit. You can show the character development and show both sides of Bray Wyatt, and I just feel like he should have just been this guy that just strikes fear in everybody. I don't think he needed the title, but when he lost the title, that
title was horrible, by the way. I just want to put that in there. That title that he had.
What's that? Oh, the belt itself?
Atrocious.
That shit was going for like $6,000 on WWE.
You saw that shit, right? That was insane. Insane.
I can make that with some paper mache. But, get my daughter like, hey, we're doing a fucking project.
Get to work.
But when he lost the title, I was like, dude, that's not cool. I know the titles are props. I know that they're just a thing for the character. But at the same time, man, when I grew up watching wrestling, if I became a wrestler, I wanted to win the title, you know? So
Yeah.
like when they end the title reigns in this short little, I know Goldberg's Goldberg, but you don't need him to do Goldberg shit on like the champ or Bray Wyatt. You know, like I felt bad for Bray Wyatt, but um,
It is. It is.
good segue into his match. It's
Yeah.
gonna get a movie. It's gonna get a movie treatment, and I think this is where I stand. Where I stand in saying that they're gonna pull this off. If they give it a movie treatment and they make it like a scene in a horror movie, if you can look at WWE as an entertainment company, then I think they can pull this off. What's your
Okay.
take on Bray Wyatt versus John Cena?
I really, really, I mean, I totally agree with you on that. I think they can pull it off. I think the only way they pull this off is if, Bray comes out the victor. I think if,
Oh yeah, this has to happen. That has
yeah,
to happen.
I think if Cena comes in and just, and Bray has to job to Cena for yet again another WrestleMania, uh, match, it would just baffle me. And, I really wouldn't have any words to say after that except for they've just completely lost their fucking minds.
A lot of good promos. If everybody knows how to cut a promo, you build up your opponent, but you also tell them how you're going to beat them. Because there have been a lot of promos between a legend and a wrestler, or they kind of, or it doesn't have to be a legend or a wrestler, but you kind of, I've seen people break down the other guy, tell him like everything that's wrong with him, and then I'm going to beat you. So if you're going to say that, or if you're gonna say, you're a legend past this time, you're slow and you're old, and I'm gonna beat you. That's the that's those are the bullet points I've seen in some promos. If you're gonna do that and you win, okay, you just beat an old guy. What am I supposed to give you credit for? Or if you lose, now because you said
Also,
that, you just got beat by an old guy. Or you got beat by a guy who you're saying is not on your level, so and so. So Dusty Rhodes, Jake the Snake, they taught that you need to build up your opponent, give him the credit that he is deserved, and then say how you're going to beat him. So I've seen people do that. Undertaker, AJ Styles, Edge and Orton have been doing that. But last night on SmackDown, like John Cena just buried the guy. He talked about how he's not afraid of him, how he beat him in the past at WrestleMania. How are you selling this match if you're already telling us that we shouldn't take this guy seriously? Like
yeah,
the best storytelling is saying, you know what, shit, I don't know what to do with this guy. I don't know how I'm gonna beat him, but I'm gonna beat him. That at least will give us the sense of like, okay, so he's worried too. Um, so I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they let Cena go off like that. He totally buried the guy, and I don't like that. But I hope that that's not an ominous thing where
indicate.
it is. Yeah, I hope it's not a bad omen where he beats Wyatt. I do hope, and I do think that they're gonna pull that off. Another one that I know they're gonna pull off, even if they make it, if they treat it like an empty arena match, kind of like how Rock and Mankind did, was Edge and Orton. Um,
Yeah,
one of the, I think the best story going into WrestleMania. But
probably the only story going into WrestleMania besides Baszler. Yeah.
yeah, fair to say. What do you think about Edge and Orton? Do you think they're gonna kill it? I think they're gonna kill it.
I want them to kill it so bad. I am a big Randy Orton fan. Um, not much of an Edge guy, but just their dynamics with their history, with what they've been through. They're gonna have to. I kind of think that with this card that I'm looking at, dude, that last man standing match is probably the one that's sticking out to me. That's
Yeah,
entertaining to
I
me.
think that's gonna be the one that everybody's gonna talk about.
Yeah, I mean, not much more I'm looking forward to. That to me is high on the watch list. So no, I need them. I'm kind of hoping that they're gonna tear it down. And even if Edge is half of what he used to be, I think they're gonna pull. I think Randy can put the rest on his back and take care of it. Randy Orton puts on a a hell of a match when he really
Yeah,
needs
when
to.
he's
So
really motivated,
when he's
he'll
really
go in.
motivated, he'll bring the fucking house down, dude. And I think for that is the reason why I'm still a fan. So yeah, I
Do you
kind of
think
need
this is
them.
one that doesn't really need the crowd?
Yeah, no, that one it could be in a fucking Walmart parking lot, and I'd fucking sit there and watch that shit. Dude. I don't, I don't need a crowd for that one. For the other ones, maybe to get me a little bit more into it. But for this one, nah, that one I can watch on its own. It doesn't need any sides or anything like that. That's
Do you ever get to watch wrestling like the way we used to watch before we knew the tricks? Like,
explain.
I feel like sometimes people, to use this analogy, I feel sometimes people watch wrestling like they're watching a magician, and they're, oh, look, I know how he did that. I know how he did that. You want to know how he did that? And sometimes I'm just like, okay, just let's just try to. I try my best, even though I know what I know, and we know this side of the
Uh,
business.
I
Do you
don't,
ever
I
get
don't,
to
I
watch it
don't,
like?
I don't think. See, those blinders. I think kayfabe has been dead for so long, dude. That those blinders were gone years ago, years and years and years ago. So we've had time to come to terms with what we're dealing with, and that transition of, you know, that fairy tale make believe, this thing is real to, all right, well, we know what we're looking at, and it's a show now. It's a show. It's a soap opera.
Right.
It's
Do
whatever,
you
whatever,
get to appreciate the
yeah,
performance
whatever you
of
want
the
to
show,
call
or
it.
are you going to
And
complain about the show?
exactly. But then I think, with that being said, it kind of allows your brain to grasp a lot of the behind the scene things that happen that you wouldn't have been able to grasp prior. You know what I'm saying?
You know
So,
what? And that brings me. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your point.
oh no, that was it. That was basically it. It's a twofold thing. It's yeah, granted, we might not be able to look at it the same, but you can appreciate some of the things that they're doing, and you know why they're doing it, as opposed to just along for the ride. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I try my best to go along for the ride, but sometimes I'm just that backseat. Are we there yet? Like.
Yeah,
Um, but with that being said, do you? I've been realizing this as I watch past stuff on a network. Do you ever watch an old wrestler and say, "Holy shit, he's better than I thought he was at that time"?
absolutely, absolutely. The one person that comes to mind that I really didn't have time to appreciate when I was younger, but I appreciate the fuck out of now,
Mhm.
Macho Man, dude. Macho Man.
Really, you didn't appreciate him when you were
When
younger?
I didn't know what I was watching back then. Like I didn't know what I was
I
watching.
don't think anybody knows
I
what
didn't
they're
know. I was
watching, even
witnessing.
now.
But you gotta. Oh no, but it's like now, yeah. But back then, we were in. I was enamored by the Hulk Hogan's and the Jake the Snakes, and like Macho Man was there, but he. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Like he just wasn't. Um, high on my list. And then as I'm getting older, and then now, I'm in the area where you're talking about, where the blinders are gone, and I can actually appreciate the wrestling and not just the allure of it. That motherfucker can wrestle, bro. Like, and he put on a fucking show. And I wish I was older back then to appreciate it in real time, as opposed to just, going on to the network now and watching it. I just really think, after watching the matches that I've watched, he needs to be on everyone's Mount Rushmore, dude. I don't understand how he's not.
I don't feel like anybody can make their Mount Rushmore. I feel like the fourth spot is always the hardest one to do. Like when somebody asks you your top five that are alive, I would go with. You see, my fifth spot is always a tie. I go with Sean, Brett, Kurt, Jake the Snake, and the last one is either. I'm sorry, take out Jake the Snake. It's Macho Man, and the last one is either Jake the Snake or Mr. Perfect.
Okay. All
How
right.
about
I
you?
mean, it's not a bad. I mean, it's got to be for me. It's Warrior, Hogan. We're doing top five. Warrior, Hogan, Cena, Austin, and Macho.
Cena's in your top five, and I understand
He's gotta
why.
be. He's gotta be
I
because
understand why. I understand
yeah,
why.
I
But
mean, like
are you talking about like
and
drawing
honestly,
talent?
I don't like the fact that he's in my top five. But for
You
everything
don't
he's
like that
done,
he's in there, but all right, fine, you can stay, but
you can
don't.
say I don't like it. I don't like it. but you put in your time, and I honestly don't know where the WWE business would be without him. And I think that has to account. Everybody that I named basically changed the business, in one way or another.
Drawing power. They put those asses in the seats and they sold the ticket.
So for that reason, it's going to justify a lot of the people that are in my top five. Catch me on a different day, my top five might change, but off the top of my head, that's probably where it is.
I went to a live event and Strowman Corbin was the main event, and right before intermission was Ronda Rousey defending her title. And damn, bro, like sitting there, you realize who sells the tickets. When Ronda Rousey came out, bro, those little girls went nuts. And it's cool because now you can look at it through their eyes. This is a badass woman that I can grow up to be like, this is who I aspire to be, And Strowman was like for us, like that guy whooped ass. And he, Corbin, you know what? I believe in Corbin and I like him as a heel. A lot of people don't like him.
A lot of people hate him. I'm like the only one of my friends that actually appreciates.
I like him. And live, he's even more like heel like. I see those little acts, and I'm like, that's a heel move. That's a heel move. That being said, though, like Strowman walked around at the end, kind of like a host at a party, like shaking hands and signing autographs and taking pictures and saying thank you for coming. You really do see who sells the tickets. Oh, going back though to appreciating somebody who you might not have appreciated in the past. Macho Man is somebody that everybody appreciated. Do you have anybody in the mid card or even lower card? Because my choices are Val Venus and D'Lo Brown. At the time, I didn't. They were cool. I used to do the D'Lo walk and the head thing and hello ladies. Like everybody cracked their neck doing that shit. And like the Val Venus, they were fun characters. They had their good runs, both European and Intercontinental champions, I think. Do you have and with that being said, like growing up now, I look at their matches and I'm like, holy shit, they were fucking good. Like these guys, and it doesn't even need to be like main event type. Like you're looking and you're like, okay, this guy can work. He can work with anybody. He knows how to tell the story. He knows how to go in and transition and all that stuff. You have a mid card guy or a lower card guy that you look back and you're just like
mid card guy that I underappreciated when I was younger.
Or maybe one that you can just think of now that you're like, wow, he really was a good wrestler.
To be honest with you, I've been watching a lot of the network, but no one really comes to mind. I mean, everybody played their part. I mean, I can see where D'Lo plays a part in that. Not to my knowledge. I'll have to get back to you on that one. Let me do a little more research and now.
No problem. Let's take a step back and talk about the lower card of this event going on tonight. Tonight, if you guys have the WWE Network, you can check it out. I know a lot of wrestling fans are going to watch it, even though they're complaining about what's going to happen. That's the thing.
I was on that train.
You were on that train. Are you not going to watch it tonight?
Oh no, I was on the train of not watching it, and then with the more talk, I might as well.
It's like saying, hey, this car is going to drive by at 135 miles an hour. There might be a crash, or it might look cool. Everybody's going to go watch that.
Wait, a little sidebar real quick. Whose idea was that? Who was the marketing genius to put out those shirts? That I wasn't.
I don't know, but whoever it was, that guy got a raise and a promotion.
I honestly want to know how they are selling.
I think out of the joke of it, I think it might be selling good. I can't quote it, but I want one.
That was just a random fucking thought. I don't even know why I just thought that, but
no, it's great because this is still WWE pumping money into themselves because they're losing a lot of money with this. No ticket sales, no merchandise sales at the shows.
They should have just called it, dude. They should have just called it and put it out for a different time. They'd have made their money.
Okay, you know what? Let's take a step back even further. Do you think that this just happened at the wrong time of the year? Because if you don't label this event WrestleMania, it's fine. I'll watch it.
It's fine.
Yeah, nobody will be complaining. But the fact that it has the banner of WrestleMania, do you think this changes things? Do you think if this happened in September, they'll be like, okay, we won't do Hell in a Cell. Fine. Everybody's happy.
Dude, the Universal Championship match is Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. Like, I don't know what else to say about that, dude. Like, yeah, they should have changed it to a different time. They should have pushed it back however long they needed to, and put on a WrestleMania that everybody can get behind. Being that it's 2020 and the most interesting match on this card is Edge versus Randy Orton, it's telling me a lot. It's telling me a lot. So, I think they should have pulled it. I think they could have renamed it to I don't know. I honestly, I can't act like I have all the answers, but it just doesn't sit right with me that, it's not going to have that WrestleMania feel. It's broken up into 2 days. It's I don't know. It's just really weird. Maybe, when it comes on, I might change my opinion. I might get behind it. But as of right now, being that, we are where we are right now, it's hard to get behind. What do you think?
I don't know. I feel like like I said, I feel like if this wasn't WrestleMania, okay, cool, everybody's fine. Take the month off. I think it's a lot of pride, the size of like Vince's grapefruits, like everybody used to say. Like he goes, no, we're gonna do this. I think like 10% of the feeling of putting the show on is for us. Like, yeah, let's give them an escape. Everybody's stressing. I feel that that's like a small part of the decision. A lot of it is like ego. We're going to do this. We're not going to let AEW continue their shit. We're going to continue and pull off our Super Bowl and our World Series. But I just feel like, damn, if this wasn't named WrestleMania, nobody would be complaining.
Yeah.
Elias versus Baron Corbin, throwaway match. It's going to be quick. I don't think anything's going to come of this. These are ones that I'm just indifferent to. Elias Corbin, Aleister Black versus Lashley. The women's tag team title match, which is sad because I feel like that title deserves more attention, between Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, and the Kabuki Warriors. Not saying anything about their abilities to wrestle a good match, but I don't feel anything for that and the SmackDown. You know what? The SmackDown Women's Championship, yeah, maybe, because there's going to be a dynamic between Sasha Banks and Bayley. But from these notes that I've taken, I'm not really. These are going to be kickoff matches, if you ask me.
Yeah. I just looking over the card right now, and that one is going to be pretty dope. I wouldn't mind if Naomi came out of that with the chip, but I'm looking down this, and there's going to be a lot of throwaway matches, and yeah, like you said, Elias versus Corbin, Aleister Black versus Lashley, Otis versus Ziggler. Can I say one thing?
No, I'm watching Otis versus Ziggler.
Fam, if Otis doesn't beat Dolph Ziggler's ass for taking his girl, bro, there's no way Ziggler can take the girl and the fucking win, bro. He's gonna have to give up something, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw SmackDown yesterday. It came out that Sonya Deville sent that text through Mandy's phone to Otis saying that she's gonna be late. So that's why Otis showed up late.
Gotcha.
And it turned out that Ziggler and Sonya Deville worked together so that Ziggler can pick her up on the date, and that's why Ziggler is with Mandy now. So it turned out that Mandy, storyline wise, and they pulled this off, man. They did. Storyline wise, is mad at Sonya Deville, and Sonya Deville is trying to, ask for forgiveness. I think, I don't know, because the way they showed Ziggler and Sonya Deville speaking, she told him, "You get what you want, and I get what I want." Now, it hasn't been presented whatever Sonya Deville wanted. It's obvious that Ziggler wanted Mandy, but she said, "You get what I want, or you get what you want, and I get what I want." So I don't know what exactly Sonya Deville wanted. But yeah. Otis has channeled his Chris Farley, he's channeled his Jack Black. That guy the girls love him. My girl included. She's like, he's so cute and
Yeah, I'm a
so and so, and
fan.
his facial expressions. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the guy. At first, when he was doing his whole, you know, character, I was like, "Ugh, another one of these, like,
Another one of
yeah."
these.
But the guy pulled me in. I was proven wrong, and I'm a fan of his. I'm gonna watch Otis Ziggler, and I hope that Otis gets the win. Um, how about how do you feel about Tamina?
It's a good question. I was a huge fan of her pops. Um, and I just think, and I think I can say this about half the people on this goddamn card, dude. It's like you putting in your time means nothing anymore. It feels like.
That sucks. That sucks to hear, and but I agree with it though.
Yeah, I just think that Tamina, there's been plenty. She's been in the company for so fucking long. She's been in so many different angles, so many tag teams, so many singles matches that she never really got her just due. And it's weird because she was a bodyguard for people. So like for her not even get her shit off really is oddly fucking insane to me. But yeah, I think that she's another one that just gets lost in the shuffle, man. Again, I can look down this whole card, man. Aleister Black. I don't know what they're doing with him. I don't know what they're doing with Tamina. I don't know what they're doing. And that's one of the reasons why I said I don't mind Naomi winning, because I think, she put in her fucking time, dude. And something's got to give, man. Something's got to give.
I think because I was such a fan of Superfly Jimmy Snuka that I became a fan of Tamina. I
Just by
think,
default, you had to, yeah.
yeah, by default. And I think her gear doesn't help her. That leather jacket thing that she wears, I don't think it helps her. I remember when she got there with the Usos, she probably gained weight over the years, but she looked better in this, like, you know, tighter gear, to, complement her body and her physique. It's really
Hmm.
about her physique. But this gear that she's wearing now, I don't think it does her any favors. But when they announced the first female Money in the Bank ladder match, dude, I was hoping for a Superfly splash off the top of the ladder. Sadly,
Eh,
yeah, sadly that didn't happen. But then again, now her splash is sloppy. Like
I
she
was gonna
falls
say
knees first,
we're
bro.
probably better off not getting that splash,
Yeah,
man.
she falls knees first, and there's
Yeah.
no hang time. I feel like she just falls. Um, where
Gravity.
those matches that we talked about, I kind of don't care who wins. But I see Corbin winning. I see uh, Lashley winning. I see something happening between
No
Bailey and
way
Banks.
Lashley wins, bro. No way Lashley wins.
I feel like just to stick it to us, they're gonna do that. I don't want him to win. I like Aleister Black, and I feel like let him take the time. This is a conversation we had a long time ago. That I feel like we're impatient as fans. If they're in there 8 months and they haven't gotten the title, we get mad.
But see, all right, I totally get that. But that's not. I don't. But see, it's too much though. That happened once in a blue moon. I get it. But again, just like Tamina, perfect example. Uh, it's only but so long the fans are gonna be like, well, what the fuck, or what are they doing with this person, or what are they doing with that person, what are they doing with this tag team? Like, it just happens so often that you kind of turn a blind eye to it. But for me as a fan, I'm a little fed up with it. I just don't understand again the direction that they would like to take this company. Um, I'm really interested to know how some of the wrestlers feel with the direction the company's going in.
Yeah, that's another thing because we're speaking for ourselves. But I
Exactly.
remember somebody tweeted to Carl Anderson. They're not doing anything with you guys. I hate the WWE. Blah blah blah. Carl Anderson tweeted back, "Hey, I still get to wrestle and I still get to travel the world. I'm happy where I am right now."
True.
I remember I remember one time MVP had a losing streak going on, and he said he's having the time of his life because he doesn't have to work that hard and he doesn't have to get hurt or he doesn't have to try. So I wondered what are their feelings. I mirror that question that you had because it'll be interesting to see what they feel. And at the same time, it's a company, and a lot of people have their roles. If this guy is going to be at the front desk for the rest of his career, and he's happy with it, then let him be at the front desk. Or you know what I
I
mean?
don't know. Yeah, I know what you mean. I think maybe being that it is, the age of technology and we just have instant access to how anybody feels, or, we have the insight on contract negotiations and people that are pissed off. I don't know if it's just that we have access to all of this information, but for me, it just feels like a lot of people are grownly becoming disgruntled in the WWE. And whether, it be Sasha or, anybody, but like it's coming out more and more that a lot of people just, are questioning the direction. So,
Um, so now we can move on to one that I'm going to use this as the one before we move on to the ones we want to talk about.
yeah.
This is half throwaway, but half I really want to see it. It's Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. This has gone through so many different changes.
So
Uh,
let me ask you a question. Are you interested in this because of the Street Profits just solely, or the match itself?
no, the match itself. I know
Okay.
they're gonna pull
Okay.
some shit off. I know they're gonna really do some shit because I like Angel Garza. He in his small time is like he just said I'm gonna do my shit and I'm gonna use these minutes that I have and maximize them. And
Of course.
he's been a memorable wrestler for me. Um, I love the Street Profits. I love those guys. Fucking oh god, they are just funny as shit, and they can
Mhm.
pull off a good match. And I like Hawkins. I kind of feel bad because he's like in the shadow, but I like Hawkins a lot. Um, but this has gone through so many changes because it was supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be like a fatal four-way for the U.S. title between Andrade, Rey Mysterio, Humberto Carrillo, and Angel Garza, which was going to be the lucha libre part of the show, and it was going to kick ass. And then Rey decided to stay home. Andrade got hurt, and it was supposed to be like Andrade with Garza versus the Street Profits was like thrown together out of nowhere. But now we got
That'd be
this.
awesome.
That would have been awesome, but then I think Andrade he hurt his ribs. But now we got Austin Theory just out of nowhere. Okay, you're gonna take the spot. This is what makes it feel like a house show for me.
Yeah.
You looking forward to this match?
No. Short answer.
No.
I'm not, and I'm only saying that because you just gave an elaborate reason on why you wanted to watch this. I can't even really give you a reason other than I just want to see if the Street Profits can hold their own on, like, in a WrestleMania environment and wow me. That's the only reason why I'm even remotely, geared to watching this match, dude. I am a Garza fan. I think, like you said, he's making the best of the time that he has. But yeah, this match for me is solely just to see the Street Profits and see just how good and to be honest with you, how high they can take this. This is the biggest stage that they've ever been on. So I'm really interested to see, and I've been a fan of theirs since day one. Um, so I'm really interested to see how they're going to defend this title, um, which should be interesting. But as a whole, nah, not really. Just want to see them.
Miz and Morrison versus New Day versus Usos. Dirt sheets have said that the Miz went home because he's sick, so they wanted to be safe for everybody. So they're gonna turn this into some type of. It's gonna stay the ladder match. I heard it was gonna be a singles match, which I find weird. If you're gonna use one representative of each team, make it a triple threat match. But I heard, gee, I don't even know because nobody's releasing spoilers. They've threatened to fire you if anything from WrestleMania comes out. So last night, um, as far as last night goes, it's still a triple threat tag team match. Are you
Okay.
looking forward to that match? I mean, the players that are in this are really good and they can put on a good match. Um,
Yeah, I think everybody in this match has at some point wowed me, shown up to WrestleMania. They're all day in and day out guys. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that match. I don't see any weaknesses here. I'm a huge fan of the New Day. The Usos are, my guys. The Miz and John Morrison. You know, I'm a fan of theirs as well. So yeah, and this is a ladder match, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So with that being said, I think this is a good shot for I think this is a good shot for John Morrison to
Yeah.
what was I going to say? Kind of reintroduce himself to people and
Hmm.
remind us why we were such big fans of him before. Because I mean, so far I don't really see anything from him. But at the same time, it could be because of the whole
The
empty
situation.
arena show shit. Yeah, the whole situation. One
I
that I
was
really want to see. I'm sorry, go
okay.
ahead.
No, I was gonna say I was actually when I was in Houston for the Rumble, and when John Morrison came out, he got a decent pop, dude. Like people still remember who John Morrison is. So yeah,
Oh yeah, people still do remember. I think that was just excitement from like, okay, he's back. Let's see what he's gonna do.
yeah, and
Um,
everybody knew he was coming back, right? I think that wasn't a secret.
no,
People were,
I think it was a few weeks already. That everybody knew he signed. Yeah, the company itself announced the the signing of him.
yeah. So yeah,
Sami Zayn and Daniel Bryan. I know they're gonna be they're on the other side of the must see versus Edge and Orton.
um, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I
Little secret.
am little secret. Just don't tell anybody. Okay.
Got it. Got it.
All right. Sami Zayn annoys the fuck out of me.
That's the best part about
He
him.
annoys the fuck out of me. Like I liked him when he came up from NXT and he got on the main roster. But ever since then he's just I don't know, it's something about his face, dude. I don't know. I don't know what it is that just doesn't make me want to. It's just like it's the stupid fucking hat. It's the fucking stupid fucking music. Like I don't understand. Like if anybody needs a fucking rebranding, it's that fucking guy, dude. Like I don't know, man. Like they need to switch it up with him. But the answer to your question, this is again another instance where I'm interested to see Daniel Bryan wrestle. I think that I ever since he came back, you've had or at least I have had a higher appreciation. It's one of those situations where you don't know what you have until it's gone type of deals.
Okay, yeah.
Um, so now whenever Daniel Bryan is in the match, I'm gonna appreciate it because you never know, when that's not gonna happen.
The, the way you feel about Sami Zayn's hat, is that the way everybody felt about Baron Corbin's vest?
It's a very high possibility, dude. If I can take the hat,
Okay, so I mean, to be fair, then we can say then you are just on that side.
I am just on
Him
that side.
him as a heel is supposed to annoy you and make you want to see him get his ass kicked.
I think
Is that fair to say? Is that he's doing his
because
job
I
with
think
you?
I just liked him as a fucking face too, bro. Like I just don't like him. I don't know
Oh,
what
you
it,
just don't like?
I just don't fucking like him. I told you, I didn't name one bad thing about his wrestling ability. If you haven't noticed, it's just his
Right.
fucking look. I just hate his fucking face. I don't know what to tell you, dude. Some people are just gonna hate you that way. I don't know.
So
What do you want me to say?
okay, so now the analogy goes to you're that guy from Step Brothers, the coworker
Yes.
of the brother. Like, hey, good job tonight. You really did good. It's your fucking face, though. I just want to punch you. No, I'm really looking forward to your match at WrestleMania. But if you don't do something about your fucking face,
It's funny because a lot of my people, a lot of my friends, they joke with me about it whenever Sami Zayn does something or oh, yeah, that's what it was. Like that's what it was, dude. You let Sammy fucking Zayn take the Intercontinental Championship off of fucking Braun fucking Strowman. This guy has just had the worst fucking luck I've ever fucking seen, dude. Like he finally gets a title, and then he loses it to the one, probably the only guy on the roster I would not want to see him lose a title to. And they fucking did it. It was almost as if Vince McMahon was purposely fucking with me and did that.
yeah, that was just weird. And I know you're a big fan of Braun, and the conversation that we had about people's impatience was about Braun. And but on the bright side, even though
Right.
there was no explanation even given, they just said Roman is out of the title match, and now Braun Strowman will face Goldberg for the Universal Championship. Now, okay.
You ready? You ready for what they're about to do to fucking Strowman, dude?
Do you think they're gonna do that to Strowman? Because this is where bigger picture. I feel like they're not gonna do the big title changes at WrestleMania. I feel like
I don't see how they. Well, the big ones, I don't see how they're going to be able to do that.
We'll get to it in a second, but I just don't. Spoiler alert for this episode: I don't think that McIntyre is going to win. But let's get to that in a second. Goldberg Strowman, they can. I don't know. They can really fuck with Strowman, but it's going to damage him so much more. I think that because in an ESPN interview, I think it was ESPN, Triple H said there's going to be a unique way that Roman's going to be taken out of the title picture. But that unique way, if it was just Michael Cole saying Roman's out and Strowman is in, then that's not a unique way. That was a shitty way to announce Strowman as the replacement. If they're still gonna present a unique way of Roman getting out of the title picture, I have a feeling they're going to do a Strowman heel turn in where he did something to Roman and he got himself into the title match.
Well, as of right now, no explanation has been given. So I don't know. I don't know. I really think because I had a friend spoil it for me right around Rumble time. It might have even been before Rumble, that they were gearing up for a Goldberg v. Roman Reigns Battle of the Spears type of thing. So I already knew that was coming before it was even announced. And I think they really want that to happen. I don't see how they're still going to be able to do that and people be as excited unless there's a championship on the line. So I don't know how much of a hold Vince has onto that idea. I think if it's strong, I think Braun is going to get jobbed out, which I'm going to hate. And then is going to lie a bigger question on what they're going to do with this guy after that. Because for all that's worth, they could just kept him in a feud with Sami Zayn for all I care, rather than see him get squashed at WrestleMania. Which I would have fucking hated him having.
It's your fucking face. It's just.
But yeah, in all seriousness, I don't know how this works out well for Braun Strowman. I just think they really, really want to see that Goldberg versus Roman Reigns match.
Yeah, they want to see the Goldberg Reigns thing. That's cool. I don't think it needed the title. Like Lesnar Goldberg, they proved me wrong a few WrestleManias ago when they just took the title off of Kevin Owens, which I feel was wrong, and they added it to the Lesnar Goldberg story. I think without the title, I don't know if it would have been as exciting, but I don't feel like Goldberg and Roman needed the belt. I feel like you could have just had that as an attraction match by itself, you know?
Yeah.
To think that both world championships involve part-timers, and I know there's another side of the business where the part-timers, you know, they're bringing money in, and
Of course.
you know, yeah, I get all that.
I'll never, you know, just kick them while they're not only kick them while they're down, but talk shit about the company if they're doing something for, you know, for the money. That part I understand.
No, yeah, if you're doing it for the money, that's what we're all here for, to make money. I get it. So that's another thing. Like Mojo Rawley, like fucking signed a 6-year contract or 5 years for like double what he was getting paid for, and he's not doing shit. That's another thing. Like Mojo Rawley.
Okay, Mojo Rawley. All right, dude. I'm sorry. And this is just how I'm just gonna be jumping all over the fucking place. I know you're trying to keep like a tight rein on how we're going about
it's
this.
All good. It's all good. Go ahead.
Bam. If I'm Mojo Rawley, dude, and I'm looking at this clown, fucking Gronk, if he does the Mojo party guy, party animal angle, if I'm Mojo, I'm walking into Vince's office and I'm choking the shit out of him.
Mojo Rawley, at least he built something on his heel turn in Raw, and I kind of liked it. But out of nowhere, he's just the party guy now.
He's just a party guy. But you already have a party guy. Now you're gonna bring in what capacity? Because I'm a little bit out the loop. Maybe you can you know.
Rock is the host.
What is that about? Who asked for that? Did you ask for this personally?
No, I didn't. I didn't ask for it. I'm sorry. I wasn't part of
Who asked for it though?
I didn't write my senators or my congressmen about bringing this in. God, Gronk he was a huge football star and a great one at that. But God, he just looks like an idiot doing all.
He looks like a fucking goof. You can call a spade, dude. And nobody asked for it. They're shoving it down your fucking throat. It's gonna get rejected because he's not a fucking wrestler. He's only just signed a month ago, if that. And he's gonna come in and he's gonna fuck up a title maybe, or maybe fuck up a match or something like that. And then what after that? What's the end game here with him?
I think there's
nothing wrong with
this might upset you, but I think there's going to be a build-up to a match at SummerSlam.
I can't wait for this. Who is it?
Oh, no, I don't know who it's going to be.
Okay, all right, I got you. I bet you had somebody in mind.
I know that Gronk is going to... Okay, so let's go back to... what are we doing? No, it's all good. It's all good. We're doing... we did Goldberg and Strowman. So let's go back to Kevin Owens and Rollins. What are your thoughts on that one?
I am a huge fan of both. I think one of my favorite matches I've seen live was I think it was Kevin Owens and Balor at a takeover in Brooklyn, and they brought down the house. Ever since that takeover, I've been a huge Kevin Owens fan. I am a huge fan of Seth Rollins. My friends will tell you, ever since his Shield days, I wasn't really on his wave in NXT days, but once he came up with the Shield, I picked him out. I'm like, he's the star, dude. He's the one. And everybody was like, no, it's Roman. And, of course they're trying that. But for me, Rollins was the guy. Wasn't much of a Dean Ambrose fan. Sorry, Tommy, if you're listening. But yeah, so I'm very interested in this match. I think they both can put on a great match. I think Kevin Owens has been underused in the past year, I guess the most recent years. But this fits them at this point in their career. A Kevin Owens Seth Rollins match at WrestleMania looks like it's time. It's time, and I think they're going to bring the house down. To be honest with you, crowd, no crowd. Don't know how much I don't know how I feel about Kevin Owens and the Stunners, but that's for a different conversation. But yeah, dude, I think this should have been like a ladder match or something like that. They should have.
Yeah, they should have put some type of little gimmick on it. I feel like it's a solid grudge match.
Yeah, not like it's needed, but just for that extra, I think that it could have used that. But I mean, especially you're gonna have Murphy on the sidelines or whatever, so it's just to even up things. Could have been something a little bit extra, but just for again on its own, I definitely am looking forward to that match.
Yeah, I feel like it's a solid grudge match, and you put it perfectly when you said it's a perfect time to do it. Rollins' heel turn was forced. They were backed up into a corner and they had to do it, but it fucking worked. Like he's such a good heel, and I feel like he's such a good heel he's gonna end up getting cheered again, And but Owens his face turn was good too. So I feel I agree with you 100% on that one. One that I'm not sure how it's gonna go, Rhea Ripley and Charlotte. What do you feel about that?
Again, you're gonna get a lot of built up emotions coming out of me because I don't have an outlet to talk about this weekly or bi-weekly. So sorry, podcast land, you guys are gonna get all of it. So
take it away.
Take it away. So if I never see Charlotte Flair in a situation where
I know where this is going.
no, because you and I off mic have had this conversation,
Yes.
and at the Rumble again, there was another instance where I was just baffled. I couldn't make heads or tails of it. But if Charlotte Flair, after she's dominated every fucking women's title in the main roster, if she goes and takes the NXT Women's Championship from Ripley, I'm pretty sure. What city are you in Texas?
I am in Westlake, Texas.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure if Charlotte Flair comes out the victor here, you're gonna see the explosion from my head from your couch out here in the field. You're gonna be able to see it, and then you're gonna be sitting on your couch and you're gonna hear it because it'll be loud, and you'll be like, "Oh, that's Brian. That's Brian from Jersey.
That's Brian. Yeah.
That's just Brian. Nobody be alarmed. It's just Brian losing his fucking head. It's okay." But yeah, I do. I mean, and all jokes aside, I think Charlotte is a phenomenal wrestler. I'm just a little bit baffled as to the push she's gotten since she's got in. But yeah, I think she could put on a good match. And I hope that's what this is. Regardless of the outcome, I think it'll be a solid match. I am a huge Ripley fan. So I think the pop she got at Rumble when she came out, it was justified. She held her own in the ring with, the top women's talent. So I think it's only fair that, she gets a shot at Charlotte. And I think it's pretty cool that Charlotte would actually have this match with her. So for that part, I am grateful for it. But dude, man, enough with Charlotte, dude. Enough.
Here's a little tidbit of information that might surprise you. Do you know whose idea it was to have this match?
Charlotte Flair.
Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Okay. All right.
She won, and he's like, I wanted to go after the NXT title.
That's great. This is probably one of those matches where I can't really give you how I feel about it until after I've seen it, and then after it's settled in.
I'm definitely excited to watch it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I wouldn't say excited. I'm intrigued to watch this because I think they're both phenomenal wrestlers. And I want to see how that all plays out. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. This is one of those that I know Ripley War Games Survivor Series. She's had a good couple months, and I think you need to capitalize the momentum, strike while the iron's hot. Any type of phrase you want to use, and her NXT win against Shayna Baszler was pretty damn cool.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing. I like the whole cross brand thing. I know people hate Survivor Series. I love Survivor Series. I love the build. I love the whole invasion shit. I love the dream matches we can get a piece of. Keith Lee fucking killed it at Survivor Series. Like, I love that idea. So, with Charlotte Flair going back to NXT, I think it's cool. I think it puts NXT at a level of Raw and SmackDown, even though we know, but this is them saying we know too, Yeah. And I'm intrigued. Intrigued is a good word. Excited. I'm excited to see it too. I see Ripley walking away though because she needs that win.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why I said I kind of need to see how this all pans out to know how I feel about it because she can definitely use this fucking win, especially being the women's champ down there. I gotta stop saying down there, but just in NXT.
Down where? Down here? You remember that shirt? I don't think people remember that shirt. It was a DX shirt.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even think I remember, to be honest with you. But yeah, I totally agree. She definitely needs this win. I think it'd be pretty cool if Charlotte gave that to her. I just think it would be selfish and a little bit I don't know if redundant is the word or what, but to have Charlotte go to NXT and then beat the NXT champ, I don't know what purpose that would serve.
I think that would hurt NXT entirely, not just
I don't think
really.
anybody wins there. I don't think anybody wins because the if anyone is even remotely feeling an ounce of how I feel about the push that Charlotte Flair has gotten, is going to be magnified times 1,000 if she goes down there and she beats Ripley for this championship, and then it makes NXT look weak. It makes the women's division NXT look weak. It makes Ripley look weak, and then it's going to make Charlotte Flair look weak as well. So I don't understand. There's, for me anyway, from my perspective, I don't see how there is a win if that happens. So again,
If that happens, okay.
if that happens, yeah. So I would just need to see how this all pans out, and then I'll get back to you now. But yeah, I think I'm no wrestlers.
Excuse me. On the other side, we have Becky Lynch against Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler put out a tweet, and damn, I think I need to look it up. I think I need to look it up because it was just so damn good. Oh, that's what it was. She says, "I don't need a crowd. If there's no crowd, you're gonna be able to hear her arm break." And I was like, "Oh my
Badass,
god!"
fucking badass. Yeah, I think this is probably the second match that just right under the Orton Edge match I'm looking forward to. I think the build up to this was beautifully done. I don't know who was behind that, but hats off to him. I think I'm not much of a Becky Lynch. And to be honest with you, I'm not much of a fan of either or. But the way that, and I think I'm just a bigger fan of a storyline. Give me a good storyline, dude. I'm gonna be in. And I think this storyline,
No matter who the characters are.
no matter who it is, at the end of the day, I'm a wrestling fan. I want to see some good wrestling. But if you give me a good storyline, that's gonna buffer a lot. So yeah, I think the storyline here is perfect. I think it's right up both of their alleys. You know, Becky Lynch thinking that she's, you know, a badass, and Baszler actually being like a badass. So I just think that it had plenty of time to develop. They didn't rush it. You know, I think it was again. I just think it was beautifully done, and I can't wait for that match.
Yeah, this is another cool one. I'm not sure as a whole. I'm not sure what to say about Becky Lynch's title reign. I remember Survivor Series 2 years ago when she was supposed to face Ronda Rousey, got her face broken, and I think that changed her career because it was just good TV. It was good TV. She won the Rumble, and I think everything was great up until WrestleMania last year.
Okay.
After that, I feel like there was nobody else that she can put up against. No disrespect to anybody, but I just think the Lacey Evans choice was trying Lacey Evans out, but I feel like they should have tried her out somewhere else with another person that can help her through a feud without a title. You know,
Yeah.
the central point or the central focus of the story. I was excited about her match with Natalia.
Okay.
That's all I can remember from her reign. And her getting the End of Days by Baron Corbin, which was fucking sweet.
Yeah, it was.
But the title reign itself, it says a lot about her position in the company because she's a good interview. A lot of times, these title reigns, they come out of your representation of the company. If you're good at publicity, if you do your charity work, if you put in your work and you get dressed and you take this job seriously, you probably get a title reign out of it. She's a good interview. She represents the company good. She's genuinely, I think that she loves her fans because there was a story about a girl having a seizure in line to get her autograph.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped everything and she stayed with the girl. Not just, are you okay? Oh my God, here's your autograph. But she stayed with the girl. She conversed with her to calm her down until the ambulance got there and then she stepped away. I think that says a lot about her character, a lot about her as a person. So I congratulate her with all her success. I just think it's time. It's a good long year reign. You don't get that anymore. WrestleMania to WrestleMania. That used to be old school, like when Hulk Hogan would get the title and he would take it to the next WrestleMania.
Yeah. So I'm guessing your prediction would be Baszler then.
My prediction is Baszler for all angles, for all reasons. It's time Baszler deserves it. She's a badass. She's at that age that you need to
Strike while the
pull
iron's
the
hot.
trigger now. Yeah, pull the trigger now because she doesn't. I mean, she can, right? But right now, the momentum, her age, her character, all that shit, she needs to look unstoppable. That's another thing. The way the characters need to be perceived. We talked about it a little bit with Rhea Ripley that she needs to win because otherwise NXT as a brand loses in the Charlotte match. So in this one, if Baszler needs to look unstoppable, she needs to look like the Beast, kind of like they should have done with Braun Strowman. Um, she needs to win, and she needs to become a long-reigned, unstoppable, dominant champion where they can build somebody else to the point that when they beat Baszler, they become a star.
Yeah, yeah. I'm with you on that. I think Baszler is going to come out the winner here. And I think it has to do. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Becky might take some time off in the near future. I think her and Rollins are gonna give it the old college try.
Genetic jackhammer?
Yep. So I think with that knowledge, I think she doesn't win this match, and I think that she goes on a little hiatus to start her own little burn it down family. So I think that's how it's gonna play out, dude.
Okay, so right on the tail end of this episode, it's Undertaker versus AJ Styles. I don't know what to predict with this one.
I don't know what to make of this. No, go ahead, man. I know you said you can't make heads or tails of it, but what do you think? You think?
Yeah, I like the whole realism. Taker's promo was fucking insane. If you haven't seen it, I'll send you a link to it. Have you seen it yet?
I have not. No.
It's the old school, like, fucking outlaw of the city, take you to school type of promo. Bro, it was insane. He even touches on, it's funny. It's a huge coincidence, and they use it. He even touches on the fact that Michelle McCool used the Styles Clash in her career.
I did hear that. I did see either a tweet, somebody tweeted it, or somebody in my group chat, I think sent the tweet or sent the picture. Where it was like a side by side shot of them both doing the Styles Clash. But yeah, I did see that.
And Styles was he's very careful in his promos, like I talked about. He didn't use the old man line a lot. But this is gonna be cool. I'm enjoying this. Boneyard match. I forgot. It's not gonna be in the ring. So
yeah, no, it's a point.
It's another movie treatment. If they do that correctly, they can pull it off, and I know they will. And I see. Oh man, I don't know because both of them need a win, and both of them would be hurt from a loss. I don't know. You go ahead and come back to me.
All right. So before I even start, what does Vince McMahon have on Undertaker? Like he's got to have some dirt on this guy, yo.
Why do you say that?
He's got to have some dirt. Like
he has dirt on everybody.
Like he's got like Undertaker maybe in like the 80s might have like drugged up a prostitute and she OD'd or some shit like that and he had to cover it up or some shit like that. I don't know, dude, but for some reason he just won't fucking go away. Like he's like whenever Vince asks him, he's there. And I don't understand that. Like I think after that Goldberg match, I think I would have hung it up, dude.
After that Goldberg match, you would have hung it up?
If I was Taker, yeah, absolutely.
The pride. Too much pride. I'm not gonna go out like that. I'm not gonna have that be the last memory of people have of me.
All right, so then do you think that if you can, because you're not an everyday wrestler, so you're only gonna come when needed, and that was your last showing. You think that you're gonna get better than that?
No. Well, I mean, there's always room for improvement. Do you mean better like quality of match, or you think like mentally you're supposed to think, oh shit, maybe I do suck now. Maybe I should go home.
Or just, yo, I'm too old for this shit. I don't think you have to say, I suck, but damn, dude, like,
I think the mentality of wrestlers, like, to the point that fucking Triple H got his quad busted and he still finished the match, I think that mentality in itself makes him want to come back for a match.
But then,
And with
do we need that? I mean, but do we need that from Undertaker though? Like, do we really need something to happen to him for him to hang it up? Like,
oh, that's a good point. That's a very, very good point.
again, you have again.
You know
Yes,
what? That's how I felt. That's how I felt about Edge. When I heard that he is coming back, I'm like, oh, don't do it, don't do it, because his was one of the more heartbreaking retirements, and I was like, God, don't do it. Just please be safe. Don't, you know. But then again, at the same time, WWE doctors, they don't play. Like if they think he's gonna get hurt, they're not gonna do it. But go ahead. Your point about Undertaker, like maybe against
yeah,
uh,
I
best
don't need this
wishes.
match. I mean, just to get back on topic on what we're actually talking about. I don't need this match. I think the only saving grace is that it's a boneyard match, so it's given like the actor, whatever it's called, like the movie treatment or whatever. So I think they're gonna pull that off. I think it'll be dope if they, um, I don't even know what they're planning on doing about this, but I think that they will be able to pull this off. But honestly, dude, I don't need any more Undertaker matches. I was done like years ago. To be honest with you, a lot of my friends are starting to come around to it. I don't need this match. I think AJ Styles should have been in. He could have used this WrestleMania with somebody else, honestly, because I don't think there's that, what's the word, that mystique about Undertaker at WrestleMania anymore. So now it's just a regular match. Um, so yeah, I think the only saving grace with this match, for me anyway, is that it's a boneyard match and that it's going to give like the movie treatment and it'll probably be cool. But I'm over it. I'm over the Taker, dude, bro.
I think the names on the marquee are more exciting than the match itself.
Yeah,
When
absolutely.
it comes down to the match, um, I'm not sure how it's going to go because the Boneyard match, maybe it's going to be a buried alive match, and with Undertaker, kind of getting away from his dead man gimmick, maybe this is going to be maybe this could be the end, or this could be another step. I don't think Taker's ever gonna like leave. I'm
But
sorry to say.
he needs to, bro. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the bearer. I'm sorry
No,
to
no,
be the bearer of
no. Go
bad
ahead.
news.
This is an
I've
open
been
forum.
watching
There's
this
no wrong
guy.
answer here. There's no
I've been
wrong answer
watching
here.
this guy since I was like fucking what, 10, 11, bro. Like it's time, bro. Like it's time. It's time. Your matches are sorry, but they're shit. Um, and I don't need to see it anymore. Like I don't need. It's almost like Jordan playing on the Wizards past his prime. Like yeah, it's Jordan, but do you really want to see him fucking go 5 for 20 on a night? Come on, bro. Like I don't need to see that. Hang it up.
That's a good point.
Like I don't need to see it. Like I don't. And what you're doing is you're starting to fuck with how I viewed you. I don't want that to happen. I kind of want to keep that intact. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah.
that's where I am with Taker. So am I interested to see this match? Not really. I think they're gonna pull it off because it's a boneyard match. And I don't even know what that even means because nothing has been explained about a boneyard match. So we're just gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see on that one.
Yeah. I think the interest is just to see if they can pull it off. You feel like they will? I'm just trying to see if it's gonna be another brawl type of deal, or you know. This story is a personal story, so it might be a brawl as opposed to wrestling. You know, a lot of times there have been stories of grudge matches, and it's turned into a wrestling match when they should be throwing kicks and punches and stuff. So,
Yeah.
I still don't know who the hell's gonna win. Um, I want Styles to win, but I don't know who's gonna win. But I'm going for Styles, and I believe he belongs on that on that table of men who have defeated Undertaker at WrestleMania. You know?
I think his name is big enough for that. I can see how Taker wouldn't mind um, throwing that bone to AJ. And especially after Taker jobbed him out at what was that, the Crown Jewel
Oh yeah,
thing?
the fucking thing. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, whatever show that was,
Do you
AJ
think
got jobbed.
Undertaker's gonna bring the trophy? Just straight. It's like a strap to that baby seat that people have on motorcycles.
Yeah, that was fun.
Check it
But
out.
yeah, fucking yeah, AJ totally got jobbed out at that pay-per-view, so I don't see how he does that again. And he looked, and he like got pinned on like a choke slam. Like,
He got pinned on the and it wasn't the best choke slam. I think AJ jumped too late or something, so it was all
yeah.
up to Undertaker.
So yeah, I mean, just for that, I don't see how AJ loses this match.
Main event of the night or of the weekend.
Can't wait.
What?
So I can't wait for that main event.
Can't wait. Yeah. Main event. Brock Lesnar against Drew McIntyre. This is one that I feel like Drew needs the crowd, and I feel bad for them. And that being said, though, I feel like they're not going to do the title change. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they're gonna wait till they have that fucking feeling of the crowd around him. They want that shot of him on the turnbuckle and all the you see the crowd in the background. I don't think they're gonna do it. I think Lesnar's gonna win. People are gonna be pissed off. They're gonna do the whole hashtag cancel WWE Network shit, which is stupid because I still get to watch old shit that I used to watch. It's gonna be a good I don't think okay, if the result is McIntyre winning, it needs the crowd. Other than that, it doesn't need a crowd. I think there's gonna be another kind of Edge Orton type of deal, where they're gonna be hard. It's gonna be some good hard hitting punches, fucking McIntyre headbutts, and it's just gonna be a brawl. And I'm looking forward to it because I know these two guys like to go. And I think Lesnar genuinely wants to help McIntyre get over. A couple weeks ago, he took the fucking bro kick. What's the thing called? What's McIntyre's finisher?
The Claymore.
The Claymore. Thank you. Jesus. Took the Claymore. Then he took another Claymore at the top of the ramp. And it felt like the segment was over, but the crowd started chanting one more time, one more time. And Brock heard that, and I saw him getting up and feeding himself to McIntyre for another Claymore. He didn't have to do that, but it makes you feel like, oh, and you even heard Lesnar yell at McIntyre, grab the belt. So that's when McIntyre grabbed the belt. He did his little pose thing. So
Yeah.
I feel like Lesnar believes in McIntyre. I feel like Lesnar doesn't get the credit he deserves as far as being a worker. If it's all about the money for him, fine. I go to work for money. We all go to work for money. If he doesn't like to be bothered by people, okay, so he's just a guy that doesn't like people. These are just regular personality traits that people are vilifying him over. But I feel like it's going to be a good match, and I see Lesnar walking away with it.
I can see that. I don't think as a fan I would like that. I think the pop that, and I was there at Rumble.
Yes, you were there at Rumble when he won the Royal Rumble. That's right.
Yeah. So that pop that he got, Drew McIntyre, that is, it spoke volumes to me anyway as to what the WWE community, what they want to see. I don't know. I think a lot plays into this. I think that, like you said, I think being that there isn't going to be a crowd may have an effect on this outcome. I think Lesnar's contract is up in May, June of this year. So this would be the time to hand the title over. I don't think there's anybody on the roster besides my own personal, feelings other than Strowman that he could hand it over to be a big guy to carry it. So I think that, it's going to be a lame match, but I do think that, McIntyre will win this. I hope that McIntyre wins this match.
It's gonna be a very, very interesting WrestleMania, just to say the least. We're gonna go down the card, and then you tell me if we're gonna both say if it needs the crowd or if it doesn't. All right.
Okay. Cool, man.
Cool. Otis and Ziggler.
Again, there's the storyline is there, so I don't think that needs a crowd. No.
Storyline is there. I think the crowd would definitely magnify the whole feeling of the story happening. So I would say yes. Elias and Corbin, I don't think so.
No, I don't think that makes a difference.
Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley.
It's a good one. I think yes. I think that one may need the crowd. That's just a regular match, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a regular match.
It's just a regular match, yeah. So I think the crowd would definitely, and and I think the crowd would benefit both Aleister Black and Lashley. To be honest with you, if anyone was on the cusp of, pushing either one, I think a crowd would have definitely helped either one of them out. So yeah,
when we say throwaway matches, it means nothing about the performers. Looking at it, Lashley's good. I like Lashley's performances.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the character. Aleister Black, I think for the strikes alone that he does, I feel like it needs the crowd. And yeah, it would make this match more important. I feel like if this match happens, whatever. I feel like if they both say to themselves like, okay, this is WrestleMania, even though there's no crowd, whatever, let's go and give it a good match. Let's go try our best. I feel like the crowd would definitely make it feel more important. How about Kabuki Warriors against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross?
There's just something so dirty about that name. Yeah, so I think.
What about Submission Sorority? How did they not get that? Nobody got. I think somebody got that, and they just told Vince like, "Hey, you should name it this." Oh, sounds good. Put it in it. Write it in the script. That's good shit.
I think this match definitely needs a crowd. Alexa Bliss always gets a big pop. Not so much Nikki Cross. And if you're not a fan of Asuka or Sane, then you're fucking insane. So yeah, I think a crowd would definitely be needed for that. What's that?
Like you said, if you're not a fan of Sane, you're insane.
Yeah, you got me. You got it. You got it.
Or if you are a fan, you technically are insane. So let's go to the next one. It's Street Profits versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza.
You didn't tell me if you thought they needed.
I'm sorry.
Toes, buddy.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Jesus, where's my producer? I like Asuka and Kairi Sane. I really do. And Nikki Cross, when she was going for the title against Asuka in NXT, like she was crazy. She was good. And Alexa Bliss she's Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
I think it needs the crowd. Is another one that I feel would benefit from the crowd. Would make it feel much more important, especially considering it's a tag team title match. I feel right now it definitely needs the crowd to make us feel invested. How about the other tag team title match? Street Profits versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza.
Yep, definitely need a crowd for that one. I think, again, I'm a fan of the Street Profits, as I'm assuming a lot of people are. So they do a lot of, they're very talented in the ring, dude. I think everybody involved in this match is very talented in the ring, and I think that a nice pop or a crowd reaction would be of great service to them. So, if not just flat out, needed. So I think, yes, a crowd is definitely needed for that match.
The SmackDown tag team title match, Miz and Morrison, New Day and Usos, I think definitely needs the crowd. Those guys are just crowd poppers. All players in this match are fucking good. They know how to play to the crowd. They know how to. That's just an exciting match, especially because it's going to be a ladder match. You want that spectacle. You want the crowd in the background. You want the whole build up. Sometimes when people get to the top of the ladder, they just do this slow pose to make everybody stand up and cheer louder. And then you're going to miss that pop when they do the dive. It's missing the crowd. I think this match definitely needs a crowd.
Yeah. Sorry, I just popped open a beer. Hold on one second.
Oh, no worries. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
5 o'clock somewhere. It's fucking
Are
5
you, are
o'clock.
you gonna are you gonna turn on the
Quarantine
Vince
time.
Neil
It's
or?
5 o'clock every day, all the time here. I'm gonna just disagree with you on that one. I think being that they're all vets, they're all really good entertainers. I'm not so sure they need a crowd to pull that off. I think everyone's going to be excited to see them just match it up anyway as is. So I don't think that you will need a crowd. I think you're going to get that same experience, that same feel sitting in your living room, not seeing a crowd, than as you would if you did see a crowd. I think that's my
Okay,
personal
fair point.
my personal opinion on that one. I don't think
Are
see
you?
a lot of these matches on the card, I think they definitely absolutely 1,000% need a crowd. I don't think that's one.
Um, no, that's a very fair point. What was I gonna say? I was gonna ask you too. After you cracked open the beer, are you gonna fire up the Vince Neil?
Anybody got any Vince Neil? Anybody playing Vince Neil?
For
Anybody
all,
got a
for
dime in
all
the jukebox?
for all listening, uh, Ryan
Fucking
and I
Vince.
became friends just the way guys do. We looked at each other. We used to work together at a restaurant that shall not be named, but we're just going to call it Chevy's. So we worked at this place called Chevy's. And
Wink, wink.
wink, wink. And we just looked at each other and we just said, beer? Yeah, beer. Why not? Let's go tonight. So, I'm not going to say the story of the way to the bar because that's a whole nother conversation. But we get to the bar and we just sit there and we're waiting for lovely Linda to come by and take care of us. And this guy
Miss
just
Linda.
Linda Driftwood. Shout out to Driftwood and Linda.
Shout out.
Man, that turned into such a different place. I visited last year and I met up with an old mutual friend of ours, and we're like, "Hey, let's go to Driftwood, just like old times." We walked in there, we're like, "No, not my crowd anymore."
Negative. Negativo.
Um, so we sat down, and this guy just sits there. He goes, "I want to say that he sounded like Stone Cold Steve Austin."
If I could give you a very good Stone Cold impression, that is the voice I would put on for this guy.
He just sits down and he just goes, "Who's gonna
He
play
was
music?"
in his own world. He was in his own world.
And I want to say he had a big puffy jacket. He just sits down. Who's gonna play the music? Vince Neil.
And mind you,
I said
nobody
Vince
by
Neil.
him. He wasn't talking to a friend or anybody. He was just shouting out loud, by the way.
Yeah, no, and he was just like, "Who's gonna play Vince Neil? Fire up the Vince Neil." And I just looked at Brian. I just go, "Somebody give this goddamn man $1 so he can put his fucking Vince Neil."
Hey, play some fucking Vince Neil.
Or like get up your damn self and do it, man.
Nah, man, it was too much work, man. He wanted somebody to support his Vince Neil.
He's a diva. He wanted the Vince Neil to be played at the snap of a finger.
Absolutely.
So Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, I don't think it needs a crowd. They're gonna kill it. You know what? I hope for your sake that when Sami Zayn comes out, they do a nice close up of his face.
I'm gonna call you, right? So when they do that, I'm gonna call you. And I'm gonna say, hi to Estelle. I'm gonna say hi to your lovely fiance, girlfriend. And then I'm gonna say, fuck you. All right? Just so that you know that's coming your way. I'm giving you. It's not gonna be a sucker punch. You're gonna see it coming. You look at your caller ID. You see your caller ID, and you see my name pop up. Just know you got a fuck you waiting on the other side. Just know.
Nice. How about the SmackDown Women's Title match? I think they'll pull it off. I think it's gonna. I don't think it needs a. I don't think it needs a crowd.
I think that one would benefit from a crowd. Maybe they don't need it, but it would be cool to see a crowd because I think they're gonna pull off some shit. Everybody here,
yeah, with people like Naomi, Banks, and Bailey, I think they can walk. Or even I keep thinking because we don't see much of Tamina. You got most vets in there, and they can walk Lacey Evans, who's fairly new, but she's still talented and she has a great character.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody in this match are phenomenal wrestlers, And again, I think they would deserve a match. I don't know if they're gonna put the brakes or pump the brakes on how crazy they're gonna get in this match. But everyone on this match can put on a great fucking match. So, I think this match deserves a crowd. It doesn't necessarily like need it, but if they pull this off the way that I'm envisioning it in my head,
you think that's the dark horse of WrestleMania? Like, this is the one that people are overlooking.
I honestly think so. I think it would deserve a crowd. That match, it just from looking at it looks amazing.
And that was one of the throwaway ones we spoke about at the top of the hour.
Yeah, now that I'm actually like, look, I think we just skimmed over it, and I don't even remember if I said I can do or do without it. But now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, I think, being that, you're asking me if a crowd is necessary, I think if they pull this off the way I'm envisioning it in my head, they would deserve a crowd.
Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins don't need the crowd. Crowd will help, but okay. I don't think they need the crowd.
I think they would need a crowd. I know.
Do you think the quality of the match is gonna? That's another thing too.
It's a lot of different dynamics that are being asked in this very simple question. So again, I'm a huge fan of both. Me personally, I don't need a crowd, but I know a lot of people that don't like Seth Rollins as a wrestler. And so I think for those people, they would probably need a crowd to get them involved or excited about this match. Kevin Owens really doesn't do anything out of the Kevin Owens box. Seth Rollins not too much, so it's gonna what you're getting with this match. And so I can see how some people can see that as boring. So I would think that with the crowd, you may be able to get a little bit more excitement about it, but I don't see so many people being excited about this match as I am. So yeah, I think they would need a crowd for that
one. One thing before we finish the last half, do you think the no crowd thing is messing with their, not messing with their minds, but God, how can I?
I know what you're trying to say. Like
it stimulates something. The crowd noise. They're so used to it. Does it? I guess you can say mentally, but this. Yeah. I want to say maybe the five senses part of your mental capacity. Exactly. Like the no crowd noise. Like crap, I'm hearing all the bumps. We're here. God, I can't even call a spot right now because it's gonna
I didn't even think about that, bro.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be weird.
Yeah, it's going to be weird because, I haven't seen any spots called in this whole time that they have no crowd, but I want to say that, like, the stimulus part of it, like, the feeling of the crowd, you're used to the vibration of a big cheer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think
you're used to feeling that under your feet when you hear a big pop or a loud boos or even the sense of fulfillment, like, I get the boos because I'm a heel. Cool, I'm doing a good job. Or, yeah, same thing with the cheers for the face. Yeah, I wonder how they feel about that.
And so I think I touched on it a little bit. I don't know if it was either about last SmackDown Women's Championship match or the I don't know, one of them. But I was lightly touching on the fact that I wonder if that's going to dictate the quality of the matches, though. Do you think they're going to pull up a little bit because, there's no crowd, we don't know the direction on what's going on? Or do you think they're still going to go balls to the wall, WrestleMania style?
I think they need to be reminded, just like I said in the beginning from the documentary that I watched. I think they just need to be reminded. Maybe sometimes you need a kick in the ass to go and do your full potential at something, And that's fine. It doesn't make you any less of a performer. Maybe you just count on Vince or Triple H or one of the vets to, put a fire under your ass,
Wait. Before we go any further, there was a question that I wanted to ask you, and I think me being on your podcast is a very perfect time for me to ask. I didn't really do too much research into it, but what was going on with Triple H's demotion? What's up with that? Do you know?
So he was right under Vince. I think he was right under Vince, doing talent relations, which is you come to me for human resources purposes, and you have a problem, you come to me. I'm the one signing these people. Also, I'm the one bringing them to Vince, saying, "Hey, we should sign this person, or maybe not this person." So, and then he was also in charge of some creative. What was it called? It was like live events, creative and brand, or some shit. But
Some
now
made up
he's
shit.
he got some made up shit. We're gonna we're gonna put this in the front of this door over here. That's your office. Um, but I think now he's solely in charge of NXT and NXT UK and 205 Live.
They
I
kicked
think
that
that's
mother right out, bro. Vince
I
signed
think
up
I
for
think
his shit.
205 is like the live wire of this era. The WCW Saturday morning show and what was it called? Live Wire was WWE, but what was it called? Damn, I think it was called Live Wire for WCW on Saturdays. They had like that rotating ring and shit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's what happened with Triple H. But he's still gonna take it. He's still gonna keep it after everything is all said and done. Vince, I feel Vince is immortal though. But he'll probably be running it from the hospital room.
Yeah, sorry,
But
sorry. You
no,
you
no, no,
brought up
it's
Triple
all
H.
good.
You brought up Triple H, and that just sparked that question because I've been meaning to ask for a while now.
Um, but when you were talking about the quality of the matches, I think sometimes people need to be reminded that they're not only doing live event shows. There's an audience of two. There's an audience there that's not going to be there, but there's also a TV audience. I think they
Yeah,
just need to be reminded, and they probably do know, like, hey, we're still, the shows are different, but we're still putting on a show for people at home. We're just not putting a show for people here. It's like they're televising a circus without a crowd. They still need to perform at their full potential. Maybe some people are a little discouraged, but I feel like I don't know. I would like to hope that they're gonna do good, but some people might feel differently, and I feel like there's probably gonna be a good rah rah speech before the shows start. Um, we're gonna take out Taker Styles and Fiend Cena
I
because
was
we
gonna
know
say
it's not
yeah,
gonna
we
be.
can't do that one.
We already established that Edge and Orton don't need a crowd. Ripley and Charlotte, though,
Okay, I
I
think
I don't. I think it needs a crowd. I think they're still
okay,
going to put on a good match, but I just think it needs a crowd. Um,
okay,
yeah, for the introductions, the belt and the introductions, and the pop if Ripley wins, and the boos if Charlotte, because WrestleMania is full of the smart fans. It's not just casual fans.
yeah.
Um,
That's everybody. Yeah, that gets it. That
Yeah,
brings
that's
everybody.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
the casual fans are usually on Raw and SmackDown. People take their kids to go see it, and when they come into town.
yep.
But yeah, I think for the atmosphere, that's the word. The atmosphere, I need that match needs the crowd.
I totally agree with you. I think now, even though I am over the whole Charlotte Flair thing, I'm over it just for the fact that they're trying to shove it down your throat. I think this match is probably one of the few that could possibly get a "This is awesome" chant, and I think it would be justifiable with these two. I think they're gonna light it up in the ring. Again, I'm tired of seeing it, but
Uh,
you add Ripley in the mix. I think it has a very high possibility of getting this awesome chant, and they won't be able to get that. So I think this would definitely need a crowd, if not just for the validation
mhm.
aspect of it. Just so, like you said, just so everybody knows we're that we're admiring and appreciating what we're witnessing. I could be wrong about that. But I think, with this card, I think that's one of the few that actually could be the dark horse. Like you were asking about the dark horse before, I think that one might be it. To which, I'm still going to have my same feelings about Charlotte Flair, but that's not taking away that she's not going to put on an awesome fucking match. So, that one would definitely need a crowd just for, the validation purposes.
Okay, we already talked about, I agree with you when you said Baszler and Lynch don't need the crowd either. So we're just going to take it to Strowman and Goldberg. Do you think they need the crowd?
Strowman and Goldberg. Just saying that hurts my stomach. See, I want to say it needs a crowd, but then I would feel bad subjecting a crowd to actually physically having to watch that. Like that match is going to be bad. I don't think that's going to.
I hope it's going to be quick. And,
I don't think it's going to be a good match. So I wouldn't subject anybody to sit there and actually watch it, especially for the fucking championship. So I'm going to say no, just out of respect of human life.
And Lesnar, I don't think it. I hope it's quick. And Lesnar McIntyre.
Lesnar McIntyre, just for the fact that, I think you touched on it earlier, Drew McIntyre has been around for a very long time. A lot of people don't remember, but he had a stint in WWE for a while. And to be main eventing the biggest show in your industry, in your company, I kind of wish the guy had a crowd there. I'm not saying that it's going to take away from the experience, but having those thousands and thousands and thousands of fans cheer you, like not an empty seat in the fucking house, and them cheering for you because they want you to win, they want you to reach the highest level of success in your company, is being taken away from this guy. So, for that, I feel for him. I think that match definitely needs a crowd.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's going to be a big moment if McIntyre wins. I still don't think they're going to pull the trigger on it, but because they want that crowd, they want that atmosphere. Bro, thanks so much for doing the show.
Of course.
Well, let's see how WrestleMania turns out.
Thanks again so much for doing the show. That's it for this episode of DNC Radio. Make sure you guys check out WrestleMania tonight. See what happens. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and on